Welcome to Mission Minute News. I'm Dominican Sister Jean Harris. The SVDs have a castle in Ireland. Father Nilora, SVD, wants to tell us about the SVD house in Donaman, County Roscommon, Ireland. Many of us, perhaps, have read Bram Stoker's Gothic novel Dracula, or maybe have seen the 1992 film Dracula, directed by Francis Ford Coppola. Father assures us there's no Dracula in Donaman Castle, but a similar idea has played an important role in the history of Donaman Castle. It was no surprise for me, therefore, when I read a brief history of Donaman Castle to learn that the castle remained vacant for 19 years, from 1920 to 1939. Shunned by the local people who believed it was haunted by the ghost of a former bailiff. Donaman Castle is one of the oldest dwellings in Ireland. It was a fortress from earliest time, but the first recorded reference is in the Annals of the Four Masters for the year 1154. After much destruction and rebuilding, Donaman was vacant those 19 years, until in 1939 the Divine Word missionaries bought the property. The grounds were a wilderness and the castle itself in ruinous condition. After slow and difficult beginnings, Donaman Castle looks elegant today, thanks to the hard work of earlier generation SVDs. Father Nilora has enjoyed several visits since 1998, meeting, instead of Dracula, many great and wonderful missionaries who have been to Asia, Africa, Australia, America, and Europe. Oaxacan missionary blossoms. Sister Jane Smutna, SSPS, arrived in Mexico for her cross-cultural experience in 2018. Presently, she is working in the state of Oaxaca in youth ministry and teaching English to the little ones at the Josefa Stenman's Child Care Center. She'll soon return to Slovakia to profess her final vows. When I look back, I am grateful for all that I have received and experienced. I feel very enriched in many ways. I am enchanted by the beauty and the cultural diversity of Mexico. Oaxaca, where I have lived for 2 years, is beautiful, resplendent in its many colors. Although the pandemic does not allow us to live as we did before, I experience life not only lived, but celebrated at every moment. At the same time, I am impressed by the simplicity and the humble faith of many people who, in the midst of so many difficulties, worries, illnesses, go to the Lord's feet for solutions. For me, it is an incomparable experience that invites me to live my own consecrated life with hope and joy. As I serve older people, sick people, children, and youth in my various apostolates in Mexico, I have received many blessings myself. God has shown me that life is sacred in all its stages. Reflecting on my missionary commitment, I have concluded the true mission blossoms from a loving heart. In other words, God calls me to love all those He gives me, without excluding anyone. I look at the mission as an encounter with the sacred. Brazil's Indigenous suffer constant threats. Sister Stella Maris Martins, SSPS, works for the cause of Indigenous people in the state of Minas Gerais in Brazil's North Province. She reports the plight of an Indigenous group that is directly affected by the collapse of the Vale Mining Company's dam in 2019 in the municipality of Brumadinho State, which totally contaminated the river on which their life relied. With the onset of disease and the impossibility of staying in the area, the indigenous people were forced to leave their territory and move to the outskirts of Belo Horizonte, the state capital of Minas Gerais. Living in vulnerable, insecure, and precarious conditions, at least 23 indigenous persons became infected with COVID. They began to depend on donations for survival. Both the state and Vale neglected to come to their aid. Earlier, opposing the government's attempt to take land from the indigenous people, the Association Mineira of Cultura Nipo-Brasileira had donated 70% of their territory in the metropolitan region of Belo Horizonte. But since 2010, the donated land has been invaded by land grabbers, refusing to leave, burning the forest, cutting down trees, and threatening the safety of the group, despite the land's permanent preservation status. Don't just plant trees, help them grow. World Tree Planting Day encourages people to take part in annual or occasional tree planting activities. The message this year is, do not plant trees, grow trees instead. Planting a tree is not enough. It must be nurtured and cared for. No one understands this better than Father James Melady, SVD, who has been growing trees in the different missions where he has worked for more than 20 years now in Katani, Kenya. In Doldol and Kimanju, Laikipia County, he planted many trees, and when he moved to Orkasumat in Simanjiro District, Tanzania, he raised many trees successfully. Then, a few years ago, he moved to the SVD Common Formation Center in Langata, Nairobi, where, of course, he planted many trees that give great shade and provide refreshing breezes. Currently, Father James is working in St. Raphael SVD community as novice master. He continues to plant and grow trees, and on June 12, 2021, led his community in a tree planting mission. 300 indigenous trees were planted in the SVD compound in Katani, Machacos County. SVD confreres, students, and teachers of Divine Word Boys High School, with religious sisters, brothers, and priests in Katani, participated, plus 2 representatives from the Ministry Forestry of Machacos. If you have a comment or question about any of our stories, please email us at missionminutenews@wordnet.tv. You can also post your comments below each video on YouTube. We promise to respond. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell icon. Share with others about the channel and the variety of programs you enjoy there. Please join us every Wednesday for our online Eucharist and Adoration and Benediction of the Blessed Sacrament, starting at 11 a.m. Pacific. To send us your prayer requests or to sponsor the Wednesday Eucharist, contact us by phone at 909-383-4333 or send us an email to mail@wordnet.tv. This is Mission Minute News. Until we meet again, stay safe and well, and may Jesus' love for you make you smile.